From October, millions of Britain's parents are going to get a better deal.
Now you come into contact with lots of mums and dads, so tell them. Tell them about this better deal for working parents.
Good news!
An unemployed parent getting a full-time job will have a household income of at least £200 a week.
What do we got?
No parent, 2 kids.
Good, go!
We've got millions of Britain's parents to fight!
In October '99, the government brought in the Better Deal, a new system of tax credits to help families and people with disabilities who are on low to middle incomes into work. There are 2 of them: Working Families Tax Credit and Disabled Persons Tax Credit. The idea is to make work pay for people who found themselves trapped on benefit because overall they'd lose out if they went to work.
Under this new inland revenue system, most people will get their tax credits through the pay packet.
Which means that if, like me, you pay your staff through PAYE, you might find yourself having to make some changes to your payroll system, and soon.
We're not talking about massive changes here or hours and hours of extra work. It's pretty simple, really. But if you do operate PAYE and have people working for you who've been awarded tax credits, it's up to you to make sure they get them. Well, you and the Inland Revenue.
One of our jobs at the Tax Credit Office is to make this as easy as possible for employers. And there's a bit more to do, but actually it's not that time consuming. And the help people get from it could make the difference between their being able to work or not. And don't worry, you don't have to make decisions as to whether your employees qualify or not. It's up to us to make awards and work out the amounts and timeframes. If one of your employees has been awarded tax credits, we'll make the first payment and write to you at least 2 weeks in advance to let you know. If you pay people monthly, you'll get at least 6 weeks' notice. We'll also tell you the total amount you have to pay, break that figure down into a daily rate, and tell you when the payments should start and stop.
If you get notification from the Tax Credit Office that someone on your team should get tax credits, it'll look like this. This means you have to do something. So don't ignore it or chuck it in the bin. It might seem dull, but it is important. Then what you or whoever operates your payroll has to do is this. Work out how much they're going to get in their next pay packet. Just count the number of calendar days from the start date to the end of the pay period and times that by the daily rate the Tax Credit Office have given you. If you want, you can use their table which does the sums for you. You need to look at all your slips and forms and think about updating them now so you don't get into a mad panic in April.
And if for any reason your employees don't think they're getting the right money or something, tell them to call the tax credit helpline. That's what it's there for.
If an employee leaves whilst you're paying out their tax credits, you'll need to fill in a certificate of payments. Once you've issued it, stop paying. Once in a blue moon, the Inland Revenue may want you to stop paying earlier than they'd originally said. If they do, they'll send you this, telling you when. You'll need to keep an ongoing record of all the tax credit payments you make. Lots of employers like to use a P32 for that. And then, at the end of the year, you'll need to note them on these P14 and P60 forms. And then, a total for everyone on a P35.
Only kidding. Don't worry, you're not expected to actually fork out extra cash for tax credits. You're not going to have to pay for the better deal. The money comes from the part you've already collected in PAYE tax, national insurance contributions and student loan deductions. The idea is, once you've worked out how much should be in that pot, for PAYE, etc., you'll reduce it by the amount of tax credits you have to pay. So every pound you pay out in tax credits is a pound that you save paying to the revenue. Basically speaking, it's more about moving money around than footing the bill.
One thing you'll need to think about if you're notified to pay tax credits is whether you're collecting enough in deductions to be able to cover them. If not, make sure you know how to apply for advance funding from our accounts office.
This is the form you need. It's called a TC11, and it gets sent to you soon after your very first notification to pay tax credits. You can apply for up to 6 months' money at a time, on one form. The idea is that the Inland Revenue will get the money to you at least 3 days before payday. But you do need to be a bit organised when sending in your funding form. In order to get your money on time, you need to apply at least 9 working days before you need it, so that the money can be paid straight into your bank or your building society. That's best, because if you do need a cheque, remember, they may take time to clear.
There's been quite a lot of publicity about the new better deal. The government wants everyone who's eligible to take advantage of it. So, the likelihood of someone working for you being able to get it is quite high. You might even have more than one person claiming it. But it's not up to you to apply for credits on your employee's behalf or anything. If any of your people ask you about tax credits, just tell them to ring the tax credit office. Your responsibility is basically to give them the extra money through their pay packets if and when the tax credit office asks you to.
If you want to know more about the better deal and the new tax credit system, read the leaflet that goes with this video, visit our website, look for your employer's guide in your annual pack. In fact, you'll find everything you need to know in your pack.
If you think your annual pack makes a better doorstop than a bedtime read, think again. If you bother to open it, you'll find it's very useful. And it's not all wordy and formal either. It tells you what to do when you get notification to pay someone tax credits, and what to do to get ready now, step by step.
If you're not up to speed with all this, you need to be.
There are some other changes on the way.
Like student loan collections.
None of it's especially difficult or complicated.
You just need to know what's what.
And remember, it all starts in April.
The new tax credit system will put new people into the workplace.
And as with everything new,
It means taking on some changes.
so just make sure you know what to do.
We're all required by law to do this,
And if you don't, you could find yourself paying penalties.
which will be daft over something that's basically pretty simple.
Believe it or not, they'd rather help you get it right.
Yes, we would. So please take up our offer. Read our leaflets, use your annual pack, ring the employer's helpline. Just don't do nothing.
And don't forget, you gotta know your onions.